What's going on, Big Dick? So anyways, guys, with a lot of great response to my first money-making video, I think I showed 3 different methods and a few different ways I even do those methods. I will bring you guys one more. If I can think of a bunch of more great money-making methods, I will make one more video, but for now, this is one that I came up with. So after reading a comment on the video, somebody mentioned black dragons, and I remember being there as well for a Slayer task, and they are very easy to kill, so that's where I tested it out. This, right now, the profit that I've actually made from this would come out to 2 mil an hour, but with the price of the cannonballs, it came out to about 1.68 mil an hour because of the price of the cannonballs. That's pricing them around like 320 each or so, which I believe last time I checked they were around 300, 350 each at the most. You don't have to use a cannon for this, but I would definitely recommend using it because it does bring the dragons to you, and it does also hit pretty well on them because I believe they are weak to range. And I think cannon sometimes, if something's weak to range, a cannon actually hits pretty often on it. But I'm not 100% on that. You don't have to use a cannon, just remember. I probably could have tested it without using a cannon, but I don't really feel like doing it. It kind of sucks. The cannonballs used to be about 100 each way back in the day. And I bought 5 million cannonballs, and I sold them all for 120 each. Now they're 350 each. Fuck my life. Anyways, there's how to make money. Do the opposite of what I do. There you go, right there. Now for this method, once again, you will have to use, obviously I am using Drygores, and keep in mind, I see a lot of people doing this, keep in mind, I got a Pack Yak, I got a Cannon, and I got Drygores, and I am obviously maxed out, which shouldn't be too hard these days when combat experience is like 400k an hour, and Magic is like 350k, 400k an hour, and it's AFK. So it shouldn't be too hard to be maxed these days. You don't need money for it. You can use, any weapon and stuff, and it'll still be good experience an hour. But yeah, Drygores aren't completely needed. You can use Chaotix. But obviously, you will not come up with the same money per hour as I did if you don't use a cannon or Drygores and turmoil and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm basically showing you guys the best way to do it, which is what I am doing right now, obviously on the video. So it can come up to 1.7-ish mil an hour. That is at the current price of the Black Dragon Hides and the Dragon Bones, which sell for middle. If one of them doesn't sell for middle, keep it in there for like a GP below middle for like an hour or so, and they will slowly sell. The great thing about this method also, well, about not this method exactly, but this place is that Jax, a long time ago, I believe they put raw chickens right outside that little thingy where you have to use a raw chicken on it. So if you want to make it a little more convenient, I guess, you can obviously kill a raw chicken there and then pick it up. But that does take away some time, I guess you can say. I just bring a raw chicken with me because I already have one in the bank. But if you don't have any, you don't want to go to the GE and get them. They do have chickens outside that little thing. You can kill it and pick up the raw. Now, there is a bank, obviously, right outside that place if you'd like to go there, but for me, I'd rather use a taco ring, go right there, and then, obviously, right beside the taco place, there is a fairy ring. I take that, and then I, end up right where I am in the Fairy Tales place. So that kind of made it a little more convenient. If you want, you could obviously use a Slayer ring. I probably wouldn't recommend banking there. If you do have a Slayer ring, you can just easily go to option number 3, and you'll be right there at the Fairy Rings again. So banking there isn't really worth it. If the bank was closer, it might be, but for now, it's definitely not. So make sure when you are banking, you're using some type of teleport, and then you come back with the fairy rings. You can even go to Edgeville. There is a fairy ring right outside of Edgeville as well, so you could use that if you want. But that is obviously slower than I did, so you won't make as much money. Anyways, the next clip is going to require nothing but 95 cooking, and is valued at just around the same money per hour as this method, and all that will be explained in the next clip. Hope you guys enjoy. Alright guys, now for the second part of this video, I'm going to be making summer pies. Now I believe for this, you actually need level 95 cooking. Big deal, not a huge requirement. I believe everyone in RuneScape has 99 cooking these days that still play. If you don't have it, it can take you 2 days to get it, and it's AFK, and you can rub all you want. But anyways, 95 cooking is a requirement. For this clip, I did not use mouse keys. I didn't do anything special. I just used my hands, these magic hands. They do so much good shit. But anyways, so I made just about 775 pies in an hour. That's what I averaged. This doesn't get any slower, any faster unless you start AFKing. But if you stay to it 100%, you'll always get the same outcome. So yeah, you can make just around 775 raw pies an hour. And from this, you make 2.1k each pie, which gives you a grand total of 1.6 mil profit an hour. Now, all the stuff, the raw ingredients, it did come in for middle and GE. Just wait a few minutes. It does slowly come in. I guess botters do that stuff as well. I don't really know. They have gone up, I believe, ever since 07 has come out, though. Obviously, all the raw supplies as well. But the raw summer pies themselves actually went up a lot as well. Now, as you see in my GE, you will see a little bit later on, I did sell them. I sold 1,000 pies for 3k each, or like 2,998 each. So that's where I got the 2.1k profit per pie. Now keep in mind that sometimes these pies don't sell for 3K. You just have to wait a little while. Now, if you have a huge amount of raw summer pies, like a big bulk of them, there's a lot of players that will buy bulk for a lot higher than the price that there is in the GE, because their limit, I believe, is like 1,000 every 4 hours, and this is what people do for 200 mil cooking. So instead of having to wait like a month to bank it, people just buy it instantly for an extra 50 mil or whatever. But yeah, let's just say if they were, I'm going to say 2.5K each has always been the average, so you're going to make 1.6K off each. So I'm going to do that right now on this calculator, 1,600 times 775. You will still be making 1.2 mil an hour, 1.24 mil an hour. That's if they sell for 2.5K each. So it's still amazing profit. Even if they go to like 2K each, I'm sure you'll still make more than a mil an hour, very close to it. But they haven't been below 2K each in a very long time. So yeah, this is another money-making method, I guess you could say. It's very easy, obviously. It requires no skill besides 95 cooking. But it's not click intensive or anything. And it's easy and it's safe and you won't die and it's great. But I would advise you guys for sure, if you guys plan on doing this for a long time, buy a lot of raw supplies, and then when you are done with it, make sure that you find someone that wants to buy a bulk of them, because they will buy it for a lot more than what the GE price is. I've sold many dicers. Well, there's no dicers anymore, but people still are rich, obviously. And they always buy for a lot higher because they don't want to wait 20 hours because they have party hats buying in the GE and they don't want to take out their offer. But anyways, so now, all right, guys, and for the final money-making method, now, obviously, I didn't camp these all day to make the actual ratio of the drops, but the, I don't even know how to fuck to say it, whatever, that dungeon that came out a few months ago, 2 months ago, you obviously need level 81 Slayer requirement to kill these thingies, so for now, they're not too heavily botted, but well, I guess for now, if 07 money comparison, whatever goes down, these might become botted more in the future. Now, one great thing about these things is that they are very AFK. You can just sit there. I kept Soul Split on because, as you guys can see, I'm using very, very newbie clothes, so nobody can bitch about it. Obviously, you can do it in these clothes. You obviously don't need to use Soul Split if you have things like Armadyl on, like full Armadyl range gear, very good bonus. That is what I would kill. That's what I would use to kill these things if I was to go to the GE and buy it. But I just wanted to use Royal because that's what I had in my bank, and it's also time for Warband soon. But yeah, obviously I'm using the Chaotic Crossbows. I don't have the Ascension whatever bows, and I believe those like around 300 mil for both of them, the offhand and the main hand. Now I made a little mistake with these things. I thought they actually drop bones, so you could use a Bone Crusher. They actually don't. So bring a Fury, or if you want a Murmur Amulet, I believe is the best. I'd probably bring a Fury, though, because it does have prayer bonus, so you will need a flash Soul Split once in a while. But then again, like I said, I was using Royal, so obviously I got hit a lot more. I did use a range prayer, the Turmoil one, whatever it's called. What is it called? It's the Anguish one. You actually don't really need that at all, because these things have about 6k HP. Just keep Soul Split on, and you'll be safe. And it's very, very, very AFK. Now, I'm going to use the statistics that my friend used for these things because they have camped them for about a week and over a week. They play around 5 hours a day at the very most. And obviously, they like doing this because you can use momentum. You don't have to use any abilities for this. They only have 6k HP. Obviously, if you use abilities, you will get more kills per hour, meaning more money per hour. But it kind of just ruins the whole AFK thing. And using abilities for something that has 6,000 HP is very annoying. It's fun to use abilities when something has a lot of HP because you don't have to. It doesn't interrupt with the actual ability that you're using. But yes, they make about 15 mil a day here. The very lowest they ever made in a day was 10 mil. But the very most they ever made was about 18 mil in a day. So it does average out to be around 15 plus. Now that's after 5 hours of training here. I'm not going to say exactly that it is 3 mil an hour, but it is very, very good money. These things are dropped quite often, I believe, those little key pieces. Some of these key pieces are actually worth a mil plus right now, unless I mean, I'm sure they'll go down over time, because not many people will be killing the boss, because the boss is kind of a risky thing. If you die, you actually lose a lot of money, but yeah, I've heard people make around like 100 mil from actually obtaining the crossbow, from buying the shards or the little key thingies and using them on the boss and just getting the drops by themselves, and they make about 100 mil for making a crossbow, and it can take them a day, they said, but that of course is if you don't die at all. Well, they died a few times, but you can't die too often or else you're just wasting money. Now, the range experience here per hour is actually 120k experience, which is actually not that bad at all. That is a great bonus about this place. A lot of places that you chin are going to be around 300k range experience an hour, I believe. So if you want like a little bit less than half, very close to, I guess, a third of the experience rates, this is a great place to go because you're going to obviously make money from here. I'm using Royal Bolts, as many of you guys can see already, or from the first clip I right-clicked them. You can use the Ascension bolts, I believe, with using, I think, I'm not sure if you can use them with Chaotix. I think you can, but they are, I guess, mostly meant for the Ascension, whatever, crossbow thing. But yeah, don't expect to go to this place and make 3 million the first hour that you are there. Things like this completely vary. You got to stay there for the whole day, and then you can add up all your drops. I think the lowest valued keys around 400k or something like that. A lot of them are around 500k, and there's like 1 or 2 that are still about a mil plus. But I'm sure they are going to be slowly going down no matter what you do, because, I mean, this place is very easy in AFK. But anyways, I guess it's going to wrap up the video for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm sorry I didn't really, for the last part here, obviously I didn't really show me getting key drops, but that would take like 2 days or a day of non-stop killing these, and that would be very boring for me, so I'm just going to use my friend's statistics. Obviously, like I said, 5 hours a day they played, maybe sometimes more, but they told me just around 5 hours a day. They're not too much of a good no-lifer, but yeah, they made about 15 mil a day on the average. So I'm going to say it's anywhere from 2 mil to 3 mil an hour, depending on your luck. The very lowest would be like 1.5 mil, but once again, AFK and good range experience. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys next video with some PKing or some EOC, or maybe even another money-making video if I come up with a few other methods that are good and worth showing people. But anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and